Donald, a 17-year-old boy who was fatally shot by a Chicago police officer. I want to go on about this guy because he's a Marxist. We have Marxists in Congress. We have Islamists in Congress. This is why Bernie Sanders hates Israel, hates Netanyahu, hates the government there. That's why he embraces Talib, he embraces Omar. There's the two Islamists. They all embrace AOC, who is a Marxist. Stick with me. I know what I'm talking about. We'll be right back.
Hear every game of the NBA playoffs on SiriusXM. Don't miss a second of the action all the way through the NBA Finals. It's good from the left wing. Jalen Brunson is red hot. And throughout the playoffs, get closer to the storylines that matter on NBA Radio, Channel 86.
There are certain guys that you need to be a part of your roster to win NBA championships.
Listen to home and away broadcasts of every NBA playoff game on your radio and the SiriusXM app.
Do you owe $10,000 or more in credit card debt or personal loans?
I miss you, remote.
Debt at all-time highs. Debt Relief Advocates is urgently notifying consumers of debt relief now being made available, designed to aid consumers with out-of-control credit card debt. Those who qualify and enroll for this relief program will only have to pay back a fraction of what they owe. This is not bankruptcy or a debt consolidation loan. This is a relief program that credit card companies would rather you not know about, as it ends your debt nightmare and saves you lots of money. Consumers owing at least $10,000 in credit card debt or personal loans can now take advantage of this debt relief as the cost of living skyrockets. Debt Relief Advocates has established a relief hotline for you to call to learn more about the reduction you may qualify for.
Oh, I did.
For this free information, call the Relief Hotline at 800-515-8832. 800-515-8832. 800-515-8832. Find what you love what you find. A total wine and more. There's so much waiting for you. Spirits and beer. Thousands of wines. Walk right
Fuck.
through the door. It's all here to explore. With guys in the know and prices so low, it just might blow your mind. You're gonna find what you love and love what you find.
Do responsibly, B21. Regulated activities performed by a
Yeah, I won.
licensed affiliate. I had no idea I could sell my life insurance policy. Norman and Nancy Dugan for Coventry Direct.
We were about to let Norman's policy lapse because premiums have become expensive. Our kids are doing well on their own, so we just don't need it anymore.
Then Nancy called Coventry.
They were so helpful, answering all of our questions.
If you're over $100,000 or more of life insurance, you may qualify. After this past year, we're celebrating life. We booked some long overdue travel, and we're able to pay for our grandkids' college. Coventry Direct has helped thousands live the life they want to live, pay for unplanned medical expenses, or supplement retirement income. When it comes to selling your life insurance, Coventry's got you covered. Call 800-713-4846 or visit CoventryDirect.com to learn more about how you can get cash by selling your life insurance. 800-713-4846. Golfer Byron Nelson was a total pro who won 11 straight and 18 PGA.
Yeah, I'll probably set one up for tomorrow. I need to get some more Rumble watch time. So.
The Byron Nelson collection features timeless, high-performance apparel made for anyone who loves modern comfort and classic style, from polos to polos. Feel good and maybe even play better with Byron Nelson apparel. Sold at 5 golf shops nationwide and online at ByronNelsonGolf.com.
Just hearing the word IRS can make people break out in a cold sweat. No one wants to deal with the IRS, and now you don't have to. The good news is Legal Tax Defense has been successfully negotiating with the IRS for more than 15 years. It doesn't matter how much you owe, whether it's $5,000 or $5 million. You deserve the best in the business on your side, and that is Legal Tax Defense. Even if you're working with someone else and just want a second opinion, there is no cost or obligation to call. They can prevent levies, liens, wage garnishments, even file back tax returns. And the best news about Legal Tax Defense is they won't take your case unless they know they will reduce or eliminate your tax debt. Call Legal Tax Defense right now for a free no-risk consultation. 800-278-1120. 800-278-1120. You have nothing to lose, but everything to gain. 800.
Yeah, I had set one up in forever, so I'll fix that next time. Oh, wow. First time I've seen a Rumble ad on a billboard.
Call in now. 877-381-3811.
So let's go into this. This guy Rodriguez. I've talked to you at some great length now over the years about this fusion of Marxism and Islamism. And American Marxism started really discussing about 7 years ago. You see it in the streets, the college protests, the riotous, violent protests. We talked about it during that period over the years. Now, of course, people say, and if you notice, the Marxists, these people really are pathetic. If they would actually think for themselves and read and study these things, rather than wasting time on their weekends and their nights, maybe they'd actually know something rather than regurgitate and plagiarize. He also said that this is Rodriguez told Liberation magazine in 2017, the wealth that Amazon has brought to Seattle has not been shared with its black residents. Company's whitening of Seattle is structurally racist, this is him, and a direct danger to all workers who live in that city. So do we
That was nice.
all across the country want a nation of cities dominated and occupied by massive corporations. Only the rich and white can live, and the vast majority of us must live on edges of the city and society, living in deeper and deeper poverty. Sounds like Bernie Sanders, sounds like AOC when she fought Amazon. So Amazon said, you know what, we're not going to come into your
Hey, Northwest. What's up, bud?
On Thursday, this Marxist organization, PSL, they said that Rodriguez is not a member. He had a brief association with one branch that ended in 2017. We have no contact with him over 7 years. We have nothing to do with the shooting. We do not support it. Yes, but it demonstrates his mindset, ladies and gentlemen. Nevertheless, in a picture from April 2025, a person resembling Rodriguez appears to participate in the PSL Chicago Socialist Reconstruction Study Group at the Restored Bookshop in Chicago. Additionally, according to
if you're able to, please hop over and watch on Rumble, guys. I need to get some more watch time in on Rumble.
The user Elias, the account started to actively publish on X in October 2023, just 2 weeks after October 7th. Posted content including a video calling to bomb Tel Aviv and words Happy New Year, death to Israel. Furthermore, Rodriguez's suspected blue sky profile picture shows the two terrorists who attacked the Jaffa light rail in November 2024. It goes on. So the guy is a real violent Marxist Islamist. That's what he is. Just go up and shoot two people randomly. One apparently died right on the spot, shot them from the back. And then that young lady, 26. That's why they kept hearing the gunfires. You said he kept firing and firing. Because he executed her. Then the initial shot, she crawled away. Leaned over her and shot her again. Then he's reloading his pistol and she sits up. He kills it. And he also unloaded on the young man who'd been on the ground. So this
Yeah,
this
but you
guy,
can name the actual channel whatever you want,
it's just
and you can chat with your channel name instead of your
Mr. Producer, you have some
username.
of the clips from
It gives you the
Fox
option.
this morning. How many are there? I don't have them. Well, let's get started. Let's go to
So
the
I have my
first
username, and then I have two channels: Indoctrination Live and then Doc Nation. And you can chat with any of them, with your username or with your channel name.
The week against this fusion of these Marxists and these Islamists. They're spending hundreds of billions of dollars in our country and throughout Europe. Qatar is number one, Communist China is number two. That's not a mistake. That's not a coincidence. They're trying to destroy us from within. President Trump talks about the enemy within. This is the enemy within. We see it. There's a crystal knot taking place in our country every day and throughout Europe every day. Jews are not safe.
Yeah, that's YouTube for you.
And now they're not safe in our capital. Now, we always are sort of behind Europe in its decline over a period of years.
Cool.
We need to learn and see what's taking place.
Yeah, if you
Talking about free speech, so the radical libertarians, in the face of this onslaught, would have us commit suicide. This is being funded by Qatar and other countries. There's a funding network.
I appreciate it, bud.
There are more Islamist front groups in this country, terrorist front groups in this country. They multiply like rabbits.
So yeah, you can create a channel with whatever name you want, and you can chat with the channel name.
Unlike the prior administration, this is what happens when you have open borders and unfettered and unvetted immigration, particularly from the Middle East. Our courts are not capable, ideological and administrative processes.
I got some pretty cool emojis there too.
They are obstructing efforts by this administration to support the enemy, and they are the enemy. They're not an adversary. They're not a bunch of punks just with big mouths. They're marching through the streets like no Nazis ever had, like no Klansmen ever have in our country, calling for the destruction of the United States of America, the overthrow of the West, burning the American flag, chasing Jewish students on college campuses, threatening elderly Jews who hold signs.
Just click on your icon on the bottom, or your avatar, and it should list them.
Is this what we want? Is this who we are? Because the ruling class is letting us down. Seal the damn borders, which is what President Trump is doing. Stop every damn penny coming into this country from these terrorists.
Yeah, just on the bottom of the chat. Your little avatar, click on it, and it should list them all, and you can click on the one you want to use.
9/11 wasn't about us. They killed over 2,000 of our people. Let the Israelis win their war against Hamas. Stop holding them back. They killed over 1,200 of their people in the most heinous way, so horrific that the videos haven't been released on any single cable or network television show. That's how horrible it is. If you want to act like a subhuman, you need to be treated like a subhuman. These terrorist organizations, they don't think like we do. They don't think like the West. They see weakness because there is weakness. They've all but destroyed our Ivy League schools, and they're working now in K through 12. What are we going to do? Yell the First Amendment, free speech? What are we going to do? Allow them to keep pouring money into our country, buying sporting events, buying politicians, buying businesses, and then pretend that they put smiles on their faces and they're driving around in their Mercedes-Benz, that they aren't the terrorists that they are? How many more reports have to be published about the amount of money that's being poured into this country by these terrorist states like Qatar?
No worries, brother.
Iran. We can allow Iran to get a nuclear weapon? The president says no. Isn't it time that the entire nation says no, rather than a debate on whether we can manage a nuclearized Iran? They want to destroy us. They've tried to assassinate our president. How many more signals do they?
And that's why when I'm in other people's like bigger chats and I'm trying to draw people to my channel, I chat with my channel name rather than my username. Because if they click on it, they'll go to your channel. That way you can get followers to go to the channel rather than the username. I mean, it still all counts, but still for monetization and stuff like that. I think you got to have 100 or 200 followers or something like that.
next public opinion, the same American media that lied about Biden, lied about these terrorist regimes and what's taking place in Gaza, and our Congress, the Bernie Sanders, the Tlaib, the Omar, the AOC, they have a lot to answer for with this Marxist Islamist.
You got to do it almost every time, though, because I notice that sometimes I forget. That's why I use a different avatar for each one, so I don't confuse them.
Zionism is the establishment of the state of Israel. It's the only indigenous people on the face of the earth that are now allowed to be indigenous. So we have to have a discussion in this country, but I'm not a rabbi and I'm not a diplomat. So I'll pray and I'll talk, but it's time for action.
I'll give you a follow.
Were there more clips you said, Rich? Let's go to the next one, please. Go ahead.
I do find there's a little ignorance when it comes to some of the people that are in the middle of the street, too. They're getting away with it because they take three Palestine.
Man, fucking
Now
rain.
you have the person that committed this act saying three Palestine as well. But they've been marching in the middle of the street with a Hamas flag. They have been denied October 7th the whole time. And people think they're just dumb kids. We never reported this when the Nazi years they were released, that they were communicating with the college campuses. It's like a sleeper cell that's right in front of us, and we don't seem to be paying attention to it.
That is brilliantly put. And like this guy, Khalil, isn't it funny the Democrats are defending him? Every disgusting reprobate. They circle the wagons to defend them. The Constitution that they've trashed and attacked.
It's been an accident up here on the exit. Oh,
They wave it around like
fire
the
truck.
First Amendment right to be a mouthpiece
And they're
of a
backed
leader
up.
for a front group that seeks to overthrow our colleges and destroy our learning. The West is under attack. This is a war against the West. People need to understand the mentality that we're up against, whether it's the Marxists or the Islamists. They have a joint venture to take out Europe and now the United States from within. Just as Reagan destroyed the
Yeah, it's still glitchy, man. But the only way for you to earn creator funding is to use their studio.
The faculty that hires people with the same ideology, the same mentality. We're brainwashing our children. These taxpayers are paying for this. These parents are paying the tuition for this. We have a say in this. This isn't about free speech. This isn't about civil liberty. This is about whether we survive as a free nation. And it is happening now. Donald Trump is fighting it as best as he can. The Democrats are basically the umbrella for all these reprobates, the malcontents, and so forth and so on.
Yeah, it's the only bot I've been able to get to work with Rumble. Just go to rumble.bot, and there's the free one lets you do just about everything. You can even ask it questions. You could say at the Rumble bot, and then ask it a question, and it'll give you an answer with Trump's attitude. You can pick different attitudes. Like I switch it up. Like I go Trump, Darth Vader.
It is taking place right now. More will return. I'll be right back.
And you can set up timers. You know, with the little chat timers.
You didn't start a business to babysit your poorest performing employees. That's exactly why I started my business, so you don't have to. Hi, I'm Alan Jones, founder and CEO of Bambi. I created Bambi so small business owners can take back control of their business. Need to fire a poor performing employee who happens to now want 3 months off? Your Bambi HR manager will take care of that.
Yeah, it's once you get it up there though, they actually start to pay pretty decent. And I've been slacking this month just because I've been sick and not working as much. I'll be on it a lot more once Toe for Life moves back over to the area. We'll start going out together.
With weekly bouts of indigestion. A friend asked me, when was the last time you did a detox? Never, I said. So she recommended Active Liver. Our liver works hard every day to remove toxins from processed foods and unclean air and water. But too many toxins can overwhelm the liver, causing it to actually store toxins in our body fat. Low energy, brain fog, headaches, bloating, and skin irritation are all telltale signs that we need to act. Water or juice fasts can help, but often require days or weeks of feeling tired and sick. Thankfully, there's an easier way. Active Liver from New York is a natural supplement that helps your liver effectively eliminate toxins on a daily basis, leaving you feeling better with more energy and less bloating. In a week of taking Active Liver, I was feeling better and now I have more energy than I've had in years. Available in both tablet or delicious gummies, you can find Active Liver online at Amazon or at USA.com or in stores at your local CVS or Meijer grocery.
Yeah. Yeah, there was a lot to it for YouTube. And then once I lost my monetization, I haven't bothered. I could reapply now, but I don't see the point. Yeah, I know. I actually started one just so I would have my my name on there, Indoctrination Live. But after one upload, I got banned. So I haven't tried it again much lately. Yeah, I only need like 200 watch hours on a month on Rumble to for them to pay, do the creator pay, the creator program. I've almost caught up to my YouTube. I only have like 600 and something on YouTube, but I've got like 400 and something on Rumble now.
First. Well, I'm sure Netanyahu has to say, well, Israel first. And while they love America, they love us, they have to protect their people.
Yeah, for some reason it won't let me. When I first started using Studio, it would let me multi-stream to X and Facebook as well, but now it won't connect to them for some reason. I don't know if it's something to do with X and Facebook or whatnot, but I mean, I can. It's weird.
Getting nuclear weapon. And if there's a deal, the Israelis don't feel it's sufficient, then the Israelis need to take care of business. It's that. Because
Almost every time, except for when I'm like on my backup YouTube channel, I'll just use Prism for that.
they not only want to destroy the state of Israel, they want to destroy the United States. Their war is not just with Judaism, it's with Christianity, it's with other Muslims that don't embrace their Islamist viewpoint. They slaughter their own people more than anybody else does. This is evil on earth, and people need to understand that.
Mark, you mentioned.
Yeah, I'm verified on X. I don't know why it suddenly won't do it anymore.
DC, a reporter asked Ilhan Omar a comment. Can you at least just comment on this? And she didn't. Listen.
Congresswoman Omar, can I get your reaction to the shooting that happened in D.C. last night?
I'm going to go for now. Mark. Couldn't even say condolences for the family.
She's an Islamist. Let's not play games. She's an Islamist. We got elected to Congress as part of what Donald Trump calls the enemy within. It's time to take our mittens off and deal with reality.
It's the same thing. It's indoctrination live. But it's been forever since I've streamed on it.
I dare them to sue me. I will counterclaim. I will get all the information I need. I will expose these people in civil.
I've done all that, man. Believe me, I've tried. Reauthorized it, everything. I'm not sure why it won't do it anymore.
Some of it's paid for, some of it's not. Day after day, spewing the Hamas propaganda about casualties.
Yeah, it's not even. I paid for the year for the X verification, so I won't renew it if I can't get it to work.
In Gaza, who put them there? Who attacked Israel on October 6th? Free Palestine. They have their own country. It's called Gaza. What they mean by free Palestine is destroy the Jews, kill the Jews. Get rid of
Yeah,
Israel.
I've been verified.
Israel's not going anywhere. Israel's not going anywhere. Persians couldn't do it. The Romans couldn't do it. The Babylonians couldn't do it. Hitler couldn't do it. And they're not going to do it either. And I have another message for them. Donald Trump is president of the United States. The United States is not going anywhere either. And he is an all-hands-on government effort to fight this anti-Semitism. And I couldn't be prouder of what he's trying to do. It would be nice if we had some help from Hakeem Jeffries. It would be nice if Chuck Schumer would stop writing books and actually do something about it. But the Democrats aren't the ones that held hearings about what's going on in our colleges. The Republicans are. And I don't say this to be a partisan. I say this as an American who sees exactly what's taking place. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I think I've covered this relatively thoroughly, but I want to say this to you, not to upset you. We're going to get hit again, and we're going to get hit very, very hard. I think the last 4 years have done grave damage to this country with the open border. The enemy is here. The enemy is dug in. You see them in our colleges and universities, but it's worse than that. You have an entire funding network.
Okay. Well, yeah, I mean, right now, the Rumble Studio, I'm connected for the first 30 minutes. It streams on locals. I got to get more followers on locals for it to extend my time. It also streams to, Rumble. One thing about Studio, though, Rumble Studio, you got to be careful because you can accidentally stream to your username. I mean, once it gets going, you could go in on another device and log into your settings and switch it. But I forget once in a while, and I'm like, why isn't nobody coming in here? And then I realize I'm streaming on my username instead of my channel. But I do Rumble, locals, YouTube, and Twitch. And like I said, I'd like to do X and Facebook, but I don't know what's going on with that. Facebook just told me not too long ago, though, that they're only saving videos for 30 days now. So they told me if I wanted to, I had to download them. But I don't ever just do Facebook, so it's always saved somewhere else.
Up front, just to be your agent. Yes, you could.
I don't care about it that much either. I'm just doing it to just spread the word more. Just on your browser, just go to rumble.bot, and it'll have you log in with your Rumble sign in, and it'll even ask you which channel you want to use and whatnot. Set it up. It's just like any other bot, though. You can set up timers. You can set up uh, alerts for like donations and stuff. And if you're using OBS, it'll even do like the media stuff.
President Trump is condemning the murder of two staff members of the Israeli embassy in Washington. White House correspondent Greg Clugston reports.
A young couple was shot and killed while leaving an event at a Jewish museum Wednesday night in the nation's capital, and the suspect yelled, "Free, free Palestine," after he was arrested. The president has said these horrible DC killings, based obviously on anti-Semitism, must end now. Wrote on social media that hatred and radicalism have no place in the USA. Greg Clugston, Washington.
Today, Elias Rodriguez was formally charged with the Wednesday night attack. The charges indicate the shooting was captured on surveillance video outside the museum, which authorities say showed Rodriguez firing at the victims several more times after they fell to the ground. The Republican-led House approves the tax bill after a
Yeah, I do.
session.
But it only after 30 minutes the stream cuts out. You can still do chat. No, you don't have to pay for locals. No, I don't charge anything for locals. I mean, if I was to get a couple thousand, maybe then I would change it. But but it only streams on locals. The stream only generates for 30 minutes. Nah, that's not right. It's going to automatically pop up the support thing, but you don't have to click on support. You can just go directly to the channel. Here, hang on. Let me. Let me see something. Yeah, there's no charge. Let me try and save it or share it. Here it is. Boom. All right. Now let me see that. Boom. Here, I'll just drop a link in the chat here. Oh, it's just It's indoctrination.locals.com. Shit, I forgot something. You should be able to get it from the comments too. There's a link to it. Yeah. Should be able to get it. Ah, shit. Accidentally closed out. Please.
Finances in total. Discover the valuable information you need to understand the current market value for your life insurance, and then get real value from your life insurance when you need it with Abacus. Visit abacuspays.com to learn more and use our free.
I like how you could drop pictures and stuff like that inside the chat on Locals.
Hi, this is professional golfer Mark O'Mara. When it came to building my personal putting green, I called Celebrity Greens, the leader in customized synthetic golf greens. Celebrity Greens designed an amazing backyard green for me and a synthetic lawn area for my dogs that looks and acts just like natural grass. You can't beat Celebrity Greens' attention to detail and exceptional customer service. Learn how to create a championship putting green in your own backyard. Call the pros at Celebrity Greens, 1-888-507-7960, or visit them online at celebritygreens.com.
Jason and I were just kidding. About going back to school. Ladies and gentlemen, I hate this. I hate it. I hated it so much that when I was in high school, I read a school newspaper advertisement. I went to Harvard. I think they called advertisement, but an advertisement that said that if in 11th grade you get a grade point average of a 4.0, in other words, perfect A's through all your classes for the 2 semesters, that you might be able to skip 12th grade and attend college at Temple University, Philadelphia, which is right on the border, Cheltenham, right on the border with Philadelphia. I'm well aware Temple, Philadelphia, was there all the time. You know, used to ride my bike there, take your life, oh boy, take your life in your own hands, drive your car there and so forth. So I got straight A's and I got out of high school a year old. And I'm in college. I said, how the hell do I get out of here? In other words, I was a free spirit. I wanted to get
Yep,
out
I got it.
things I wanted to do. I didn't need to sit there in front of lecturers, teachers, or professors telling me what to think. I was thinking for myself. I was reading for myself. I wanted to go. You know, by the time I was 13 or 14, I was really like 45 years old mentally. So I decided I'll tell you how I'll get out of college early. I'll accelerate. What does that mean? I'll take more courses than I need to over the course of those 3 years, and I'll get out a year early. But I have to have a really good grade point average because I want to go to law school. So I got out in 3 years. probably 3-4 years ahead. I'm not comparing them. I'm just telling you about my journey. And I
Perfect. Thank you.
graduated college, Phi Beta Kappa, magna cum laude. It could have been summa, but I decided while I was in school to run for the school board. I get bored. I get bored when people are telling me what to think or what to read or something like that. So I ran for the school board.
Guys going flying,
which took a
man.
lot of time.
It's
Every
construction zone.
weekend I would go door to door. We
Jesus.
hit over 3,000 doors, my parents and I, my brothers, my buddy Eric. And
Scary
back then,
shit,
there
man.
weren't all these reporting requirements. So I printed up my own business cards and went door to door and everything else and so forth. But so that took a lot of time. I got elected. And I was the youngest school board member. At that point, I don't know if you believe I knew. At that point in the history of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. I got elected when I was barely 19. And
Yeah,
ran
I
for
commented.
a
That's actually my
tax
username.
agenda.
I should have used
And I formed a political action
the
group
channel.
of citizens. There were no businesses involved then. I was a young guy. Citizens. Regular citizens. And we raised money on our own. Not a lot. I think they totaled $5,000, something like
Yeah, I
that.
got notifications for
We had
both.
our own mailings. So I ran as a Republican, but I also ran as a tax cutting conservative. The
Oh,
property taxes went up there and nuts.
oh.
Now the interesting part is the township back then is completely
Look
different.
at
now, but
hydroplaning
back
there a
then,
little bit.
Cheltenham Township, a lovely place. Certainly, I don't know what it is now. Basically, there were 3 areas. I mean, they had a number of commissioners. The center of the township was not exclusively, but mostly Jewish. And the ends, the west and the east, they were mostly Gentile. So where do you think most of my support was, Mr. Producer? Among the Irish, the Germans, and the Polish. That's where my support was. But I had enough support in the Senate, too. So I won overwhelmingly in the Republican primary. There were 3 of us. My buddy Bob Seelick and a couple others. Bob Seelick was now in Florida and seen. I saw him a couple of years ago. Anyway, and then the general election. So I was doing that when I was in college and then law school and so forth. But I wanted to get out. I just wanted to get the hell out of here. I don't want to listen to these people. I mean, it really could have gone one of 2 ways, right? It really could have. I would never have gone the way of a really rotten kid. I just wasn't. I was a really good kid. I never smoked. I never did drugs. I never did any of that stuff.
Yeah, well,
I wasn't a nerd either. You know, like baseball,
it will.
basketball, I don't know, most of it. Soccer. I think baseball was my most enjoyable sport, but nonetheless, usually first base. Pretty damn good hitter, by the way.
I think there is a way
And
to
so
change your username too, though.
that's what happened.
I think I've changed mine
And
before.
I thought, no, I want to hear some more. I don't know why I'm doing this. Maybe people like to hear about it. There were 2 things I was thinking about becoming, Mr. Producer. I've never told you this, have I? A senator or a rabbi. Now, the rabbi thought was a very quick one. I said, no, that's not for me. And then the senator thought, I'm watching, I'm thinking, I love the fact that on the floor of the Senate, but I don't want people coming up to me and they get my social security check and give my kid an internship. I said, you know what, I can't do that either. So that's not what I want. Anyway, so then when I was in law school, I'm getting somewhere, stick with me. You know, as the president says, I travel, and I come back. I guess that's kind of what I'm doing. So I was 20 years old in law school, and they had a brand new program at the U.S. Supreme Court. You could intern there for the Chief Justice. Intern. They handle administrative stuff, speeches, that sort of thing. So again, I'm anxious to get.
Oh, okay.
I applied. I guess probably thousands of people that I don't know. And I got the slot, Mr. Wilson. Can you believe that? And the Chief Justice at the time was Warren Burger. He was giving speeches about how poor law schools are preparing lawyers for litigation, for actually being lawyers. And I did a lot of research on those speeches. And that's when I met a clerk to the Chief Justice by the name of Michael Lewin. At that time, we became good friends. Now I can't stand the guy. To be perfectly honest with you, I haven't talked to him in decades, but what he's done and what he's become, I just can't do. But we were quite friendly. But I got to observe.
I'm having the hardest time changing the email I used to create it. Because I've created them with my other emails.
Harry Blackman for the infamous Roe v. Wade decision. But it was also considered the least.
But then deleted them with those emails. It won't let me use those emails.
The brainiacs. Let me put it there.
You know, it's not that big a deal, but it's just.
I always saw him in the court library. Always. Early in the morning, late at night. He's obviously able to do the most work. Supreme Court of the United States. What about Clark? I never had any interest in that. Remember, I wanted to get out. I had my things that I wanted to do. I knew. And I worked briefly for a company in California, and then I swung right into the Reagan administration. I was just turned 23. Just turned 23. And I spent 8 years in the Reagan administration. The rest is history. Or hysterical. One or the other. So I got to see some of the Supreme Court from the inside. Obviously, I wasn't sitting in the conferences. Nobody does, other than the justices. Justices were very friendly. Justices who sort of had their nose in the air. Justices who were egomaniacs. Justices who were tough. Berger was a nice guy, but he was tough. Tough. Like my buddy Arthur Ferguson, who we've had on the show over the years. He was a clerk for Berger. He wasn't a clerk when I was the intern. I would remember that, I'm sure. But I never had an interest in clerking for anybody. I never had an interest in being like a contracts or anything like that. I'm like, oh my God. It just meant it really. And so now we have these two cases that came down from the Supreme Court today. And I'll use Reuters to alert you to them. The U.S. Supreme Court is active in a series of cases involving challenges to executive orders signed by President Trump. Reuters, of course, is out of Britain, and it is a radical, Israel-hating, America-hating wire service. In my humble opinion, just my opinion, yes, one man's opinion, but I read a lot. The court, let's see. See, Reuters is even the right place to be. Cases at the court involve all kinds of issues. Yeah, thanks a lot. And then they go through the cases. This is not the right one. Sorry, America. I'm going to pick up, here we are, U.S. News. Let's try this one. U.S. News is always good because they have the information, plus you feel like you're reading a comic book. You know what I mean, Mr. Perdue? You take out a crayon and just start coloring the thing. U.S. Supreme Court allowed President Trump. Well, let's start with that. U.S. Supreme Court allowed. Is that the way the Constitution is set up? The U.S. Supreme Court has allowed? The U.S. Supreme Court has allowed? That's not the way that works. I can't use U.S. News because a big advertisement just dropped down. Should we try another one, America? This is what I got to deal with here. Let's try this one. In a win for President Trump, USA Today, in his effort to take control of independent agencies. It's not take control of independent agencies. He won an election. Where are independent agencies in the Constitution? Let's get really smart about this. They don't exist. There's three branches of government. So what branch is the independent agency? Well, it's in the executive branch, but the president can't touch it. Where's that written? Nowhere. Nowhere. So they create the administrative state, which is a massive fourth branch of government, massive resources, massive power, not in the Constitution. Independent agencies or boards. What's that? Another concoction that's outside the constitutional construct. I'm just being straight with you. Well, they write, in a win for President Trump in his efforts to take control over independent agencies. Oh, it must be a fascist. The Supreme Court allowed him on May 22nd to keep two Democratic members of federal labor boards away from their posts while their challenge to his firing of them proceeds. The High Court signaled in its opinion that it may ultimately overturn the 1935 precedent and side with Trump in the underlying cases, allowing him to permanently remove, without cause, members of boards that Congress created to be independent of direct presidential control. Well, that is unconstitutional. Just because Congress creates it doesn't make it constitutional. So these are unconstitutional concoctions. And maybe the Supreme Court's going to take a look at them. But the court temporarily blocked orders by two separate Washington-based federal judges, of course. And it shielded Kathy Harris from being dismissed from the Merit Systems Protection Board and Glenn Wilcox from being removed from the National Labor Relations Board before their terms expired. They did something like this under Biden. They cleared out a number of these so-called independent agencies. And so what they ought to do is do away with them. Because in my view, they are not constitutional. And then there was a second decision that I'll get to in a moment. We'll be right back.
Mark Logan.
Attention investors. The RV and camping industry has exploded in the last several years. Close to 60 million people will take an RV trip this year. The demand for quality destinations to park these RVs can't keep up. Right now, if you are an accredited investor, you can participate in ownership of an RV park resort, earn potential double-digit returns paid quarterly, and also profit in the appreciation of the land and business. This is a real estate investor's dream with a proven track record. And great news, participation in these RV parks are approved for IRAs, self-directed IRAs, and 401k plans. To learn more, please visit resortpropertiesgroup.com, resortpropertiesgroup.com. That's resortpropertiesgroup.com, or call 888-307-1685. That's 888-307-1685. Again, visit resortpropertiesgroup.com. That's resortpropertiesgroup.com. Individual results may vary. Past performance is no guarantee of future results.
1877 cars for kids.
will tell you upfront and for free if they can help. They only take cases they know they can help. 800-485-3021. 800-485-3021. 800-485-3021. RushTaxResolution.com. Attention investors, there's a major real estate correction happening. I'm investing in it, and you should too. My name's Grant Cardone, CEO of Cardone Capital. We manage $4 billion of institutional quality real estate and partner with regular, everyday investors just like yourself. You get all the benefits of great real estate without any of the headaches. I find the deal, negotiate it, buy it, improve it, collect the rental on the 15th, distribute cash flow to our investors. We have a proven model distributing over $300 million to our 13,000 investors. At Cardone Capital, we target 12 to 15% IRR, 6% cash flow, and we buy the best markets, best location, below replacement costs, and cash flow positive at close. To see if you qualify, go to CardoneCapital.com. That's CardoneCapital.com to see if you qualify. Individual results may vary. There's no guarantee that past performance will be indicative of future results. Invest wisely. See full disclosure at CardoneCapital.com. We are SiriusXM Patriot, Channel 125. 270 Texas. Live here.
Yeah, the Supreme Court decision was a 4-4 split, no opinion provider, blocking the first religious charter school in Oklahoma. 4-4. Barrett was not involved. This involved a Catholic charter school. I don't know why she would have to recuse herself. Although apparently here there are lawyers associated with Notre Dame Law School, so that's probably why, because that's where she went to law school. The Supreme Court dealt an unexpected blow today to the conservative drive for religious charter schools. The justices splitting 4-4 and unable to rule on a case from Oklahoma. 4-4 means there's no decision effectively, and whatever the circuit court did holds. In effect, blocking a proposed new Catholic charter school. If upheld, it would have been the nation's first funded church-run charter school. In recent years, charter schools have proved popular with parents. Now, let me tell you the problem with this. 4-4, they think John Roberts went with the three leftists, 4-4, but they didn't have to sign it. But that's what they think. William Rehnquist made the point, separation of church and state, and everybody cites this Thomas Jefferson letter. Thomas Jefferson was not at the Constitutional Convention. He gave his opinions from time to time when they were solicited by Madison, but he had no direct role in it whatsoever. He wasn't a delegate. He was in France. And I want to get into this a little bit more. I don't know that I can get to this, but he's from trying. Let's see here. Hey, look, we're live and national, and I am a quasi-professional. You know, people have been in radio all their life. Well, I've kind of been in radio all my life, but I didn't train as a radio guy. All right, I'm looking. I got it. I'm working on it. I got it. Mr. Producer, here we go. God, found it. All right. Ask 10 people to define the word capitalism. How many different responses do you think you're going to get? 10 different responses. That's what you'll get. Hillsdale College, offering more than 40 free online courses. I hope by now you've checked them out. 3 online courses. Learn about the United States Constitution, the Book of Genesis, the rise and fall of the Roman Republic, the history of the Christian Church, the ancient Christian Church, with Hillsdale's free online courses. And they have this fantastic course right now, Understanding Capitalism. I know it's fantastic because I looked at it last weekend. There's 7 lectures. You'll learn about the role of profit and loss, how human nature plays a role. It goes into the real, fundamental aspects of capitalism, how you can defend them, how you can learn from them. It's really fantastic. I would encourage his morality rather than undermines it. Go right now to levinforhillsdale.com to enroll. There's no cost. It's easy to get started. That's levinforhillsdale.com, LEVIN for Hillsdale.com to register. It's free. LEVIN for Hillsdale.com. Why don't you go ahead and register during the break? I'll be right back.
I'm Mike, with a real story about my bank screwing me over. I went to my banker of 15 years looking for a loan. I worked for a month collecting paperwork, and then 8 weeks later, surprise, I got declined. The stress and missed opportunity contributed to a divorce. When another opportunity came up later, a close friend sent me to DeltaCap.com. I got the money I needed in under 24 hours and was off to the races. Delta Capital Group is a national leader providing lines of credit and term loans for businesses just like yours. Same-day approval, no collateral, any credit score. Over half of their business comes from referrals and happy repeat customers expanding their lending. Why? Because Delta Capital Group just gets business done. Don't waste time like Mike. Yeah, don't be like Mike. Ask my ex. Get your money at DeltaCap.com. That's DeltaCap.com. This is professional for Mark O'Mara. You've heard me talk about Celebrity Greens, the company that builds championship-level synthetic putting greens at the homes of amateurs and professional golfers all across North America. Celebrity Greens is known for their great design, the use of the best materials, and amazingly high-quality installations. Their greens look great and perform like natural greens that I've played on my entire career. Now, Celebrity Greens is looking for additional sales and construction partners. If you're involved in the synthetic turf business or a contractor looking to expand your business or an entrepreneur, give Celebrity Greens a call today. They're currently expanding across North America, and they will be opening new markets soon. And if you're an avid golfer wanting the convenience and the beauty of a custom green or a beautiful low-maintenance lawn in your own backyard, you should call them too. Contact Celebrity Greens at 1-888-507-7960 or visit them online at celebritygreens.com. Celebrity Greens, redefining private golf all across North America. Visit them online at celebritygreens.com. Celebrity Greens. Golf is a demanding game. Everyone on tour knows to perform at the highest level.
Okay, nothing but commercials on this show.
Equipment. And occasionally a product comes to the game that is quickly embraced by the best players in the world. Shaden Precision Eyewear, known for their quality, has become the fastest growing sunglass brand in professional golf. In just 18 months, Shaden Eyewear is now being worn by dozens of tour players worldwide. Why? That can be answered with one word: quality. There's no higher quality sunglass brand in the game, and quality is why so many players have switched to Shaden Precision Eyewear. Experience what the best in the world are discovering about the Shaden brand by visiting SeeBetterPlayBetter.com. Enjoy the guaranteed best lenses and frame comfort that touring golf professionals are now trusting. Go to SeeBetterPlayBetter.com and treat yourself or the golfer in your family to the fastest growing sunglass brand in the game. That's SeeBetterPlayBetter.com. Attention! Have you racked up $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Or are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is notifying consumers about significant debt relief options currently being made available to help those with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of credit card debt for those who qualify. You don't need to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan, and you may only have to pay back a fraction of what you owe, even if you have bad credit. National Debt Relief has already reduced the credit card debt for more than 550,000 consumers, so don't wait. If you owe $10,000, $20,000, or even $100,000 in credit card debt, you can now take advantage of this financial debt relief as the cost of living continues to skyrocket. To check what debt reduction you may qualify for, call 800-222-5585. 800-222-5585. Again, that's 800-222-5585.
You don't notice pain until it's all you notice. Every step, every reach, every restless night staring at the ceiling. But then, something shifts. You step out of bed, bracing for the ache, but it isn't there. You reach for your coffee, expecting stiffness, but your hand moves freely. And when someone looks at you and says, something different about you today, what is it? It's almost like a weight's been lifted off of you. I was just about to say that. You are really looking good. This is Vibe, a pocket-sized device using PEMF therapy to restore balance at a cellular level. No pills, no side effects. Just frequencies that help your body remember how to feel good again. Feel the shift. Move freely. Experience Vibe. Visit TrashThePills.com. TrashThePills.com.
Conservative principles live here. Mark Levin, a great one. A great one. One to tie out and now. 877-381-3811.
And let's dive into this with you, ladies and gentlemen. 4-4, likely John Roberts still out the country again. But it's a lot with the left these days, doesn't he? Barrett accused yourself. So the way this is written up, the Supreme Court got an unexpected blow. The conservative drive for religious charter schools, with the justices splitting 4-4, and unable to rule in a case from Oklahoma that had the effect of blocking a proposed new Catholic charter school. Now, a couple of things. When you go to poor neighborhoods, there are public schools and there are Catholic churches, among other churches. There's no spanking, elite private school in these poor neighborhoods. And so when it comes to school choice, you basically have a choice. That is, if you're not bused 20 miles outside of the community or 10 miles outside of the community or whatever community it is, you can go to a parochial school or you can go to the public school. And basically the churches set up these charter schools. So it's not like somebody's going out of the way to fund Catholic schools or religious schools. People are looking for alternatives. It's a lousy, rotten public school. Now, I thought we were past that. There's an old case called Everson. I'm doing this by memory. In Everson, I write about it, I'm sure, in Men in Black, the first book. And Everson was a case of,
Hey, Jacob.
as I recall, whether or not government money could be used, let me put it this way, whether or not children could be picked up by a public school bus.
Tired, man.
Well, that public school
Still got
bus
about an
is
hour
driving
on the road
from
left.
point A to the public school, but in between, pick up kids that are going to a parochial school, a Catholic school, and drop them off on the way to the public school. It was a weird case because one of the Catholic bigots on the court was Hugo Black, the first Supreme Court justice under FDR. He had been a lawyer for the Klan in Alabama. And so he basically wrote the decision by voting with the majority. He was the most senior of the group at the time. And he wrote a very sort of strange case, but the bottom line is it allowed it. It allowed that public school bus to take these kids to Catholic school. It was not viewed as a violation of church and state. Now the problem is our First Amendment doesn't talk about church and state. That's not in the Constitution, separation of church and state. There was in a letter that I mentioned earlier that Jefferson wrote. It was not at the Constitutional Convention and had no role in it. Basically, the clause says no establishment of a religion and free exercise of religion. But how does this establish a religion? It certainly doesn't. And in the early days of our republic, religion had a very significant role in certain states. First colonies and then states. So the interpretation that's been given to it by the more extreme elements is not even rational. Certainly not. It's ahistorical, let me put it that way. So here you would have Oklahoma saying, okay, look, you pick a school, you want to go to a charter school, and there's a Catholic charter school down the street. Okay, the monies that we're giving you to go to a school can be used to go to that Catholic school, that charter school under that Catholic school. So Barrett recuses herself. The three leftists, no doubt, voted no, and they think John Roberts joined them. So 4-4, The federal court, as I understand it, in Oklahoma had ruled no, that you couldn't do it. So that's where it stands. So that's those kids can't go to a Catholic charter school or whatever charter school. Religious liberty advocates appealed to the Supreme Court last year, arguing it was also unconstitutional to exclude churches from sponsoring a state-funded charter school. I would just say there's nothing in the Constitution that prevents it. Nothing. Zero. It's certainly not the establishment of a religion. How is it the establishment of a religion? Unless you read that very, very broadly. So that was the other decision. A no decision, which left in place the circuit court decision. Was that understandable, Mr. Producer? Fairly so? I want to tell you about our friends at Pure Talk. Another one of our wonderful, wonderful sponsors. Pure Talk is a fantastic product. It's my wireless company, a veteran-led company. Believes every man and woman who has faithfully served this country, and I love this even more. We now have 2 sponsors pulling together. They believe that every person who has served this country deserves to proudly fly the American flag that was made in America. This is really cool. And that's why Pure Talk is on a mission to give an allegiance flag. Our other wonderful sponsor, Allegiance Flag, the highest quality American flag anywhere, to 1,000 U.S. veterans in time the patriotic holidays. That would be Memorial Day and beyond. Switch your cell phone service to Pure Talk today. Know that you're supporting a company that will be providing these high-quality American flags. That's what I had to call them. American flags. The deserving veterans. With plans from just $25 a month for unlimited talk, text, and plenty of data, you can enjoy America's most dependable 5G network while cutting your cell phone bill in many cases in half. The average Pure Talk family saves over $1,000 a year. It's a lot. Just dial pound 250, say the keyword Mark Levin, and Pure Talk's U.S. customer service will get you switched hassle-free in as little as 10 minutes. Again, dial pound 250, say Mark Levin to switch the wireless company that supports our veterans, that supports their customers, namely you. Switch to Pure Talk. I want to talk about this budget, the tax cutting bill that was passed by the House of Representatives. It goes to the Senate. If the Senate can make it better, great. I don't have a problem with that. But I think a lot of the handful of the House members and senators who are speaking out now would never have voted for Ronald Reagan's tax cuts. Never. Because he couldn't get the spending cuts through. He tried, but he couldn't get them. So put yourself in the place of a member of Congress. You have a choice. You vote for this bill, which has significant tax cuts across the board, more funding to secure the border, more funding for the military, no taxes on tips, significant reduction in taxes on Social Security recipients depending on income, the same with overtime, a bunch of other things that we've always wanted. Killing that bill, having a 68% tax increase, no additional monies for these American priorities. What would you do? Now, the bill adds to the deficit, but they can't get enough cuts in there for a majority to agree to in this one bill. It's one bill. There'll be future bills. What would you do, Mr. Producer? Would you vote for it? You vote yes, right? So would I. And you can keep fighting to cut spending and so forth and so on. I mean, they're making adjustments to Medicaid that need to be made. They're not going far enough, some say. Okay, but they're making adjustments that haven't been made, and they want to make them now. That's a good thing. They want to get freeloaders off the system, healthy, mentally, physically capable males, as an example, 25, 30, 32 years old. Get them the hell off the sofa. You got to work. You know what the work requirement is, America? 20 hours a week. Then you can get free medical care. 20 hours a week. Is that asking too much? According to some, it is. Well, that's too damn bad. Too damn bad. Yes, I would have voted for it. And I would have continued fighting for spending down the road. You kick the can down, I'm not kicking anything down the road. We need the tax cuts. We need the border monies for more detention centers and on and on and on. We need the money for the military. Look, it's reality. That's what you got to deal with. Now, I've proposed several constitutional amendments in the Liberty Amendments. Another #1 New York Times bestseller, the Liberty Amendments. A number of constitutional amendments to limit spending is a matter of constitutional construct. Just a certain percentage of the GDP and on and on and on. Have you heard a single have you heard a single Republican senator or House member embrace it? Just one? Not one. They don't fight for it. They don't contact Convention of States. Our friends, the Mecklers and the rest of the folks there, 5 million strong, and say, how can we help you do this? None of them do. There's a whole, I always say about the Marxist Islamist left, the American Marxists, they never give us a blueprint. They give us sort of a macro understanding of how they want to destroy our country, but they never give us a blueprint. I wrote this book, The Liberty Amendments. There's blueprint right there, the blueprint, right in the book, for what can be done to curb spending, to curb the size of government, to curb the power of the judiciary. It's all right in there. Not one of them has taken it up. Not one. Now, that book was written for a Convention of States process, but what would prevent a senator, a House member, or more than one of each
Hey, George.
from taking up the cause of one of these amendments and try to push it through the first way you amend the Constitution? Is it an uphill battle? Everything's an uphill battle.
Yeah, it was a long day today.
We know what we're up against. I was saying at the break, there's a lot of talk now, and you'll hear about how the Democrat Party just keeps shooting itself in the foot. The Democrat Party, if they'd only get on the right side of cultural issues, the Democrat Party, they don't know what they stand for, and when they stand for something, they make fools of themselves. I'm a little sick and tired of people getting cocky. Remember what happened that last midterm, Mr. Producer? We had people going on TV telling us we're going to have 60 Republican senators, or we're going to blow out the red wave, which never happened. The same people. They never learned a damn thing. The same people haven't learned anything. This is a forever war. May I say that? It's true. Good versus evil. Them versus us. But they don't understand the Democrat Party. They'll now use phrases that I've taught them. They'll throw around Marxism and oppressor oppressed, but they don't really fundamentally, substantially understand it. The Democrat Party's not playing
Yeah, you too, bud.
on our ball field. The Democrat Party is trying to figure out not what it stands for. They know what they stand for. They're trying to figure out how to win an election with or without our support. How to fool us, how to lie to us, how to destroy Donald Trump. They figure all we need to do is win one more election, one more, and we will fundamentally alter America. Folks, we have a couple vote majority in the House. It's not like we have a massive majority in the Senate. We have 53 Republican senators. And we act like we got 60 Republican senators and 40 vote majority in the House. We don't have it. So why is everybody on TV so cocky? Or radio, for that matter? You don't understand what we're up against. Look at the judiciary. I wrote an entire book on the judiciary. It was my first book. I understand what we're up against. And you will too. I heard, I think it was John Roberts say, maybe it was somebody else. It's in the background as it goes. He actually used the word power, Mr. Producer. Power. And I don't think he used that because, oh, Mark used power, I'll use it. I don't think that's what happened. And he came close to the point. The point. If you understand power, if you understand that there are people, that there are groups, that there are factions, that there is a party that seeks to seize power, not necessarily by the vote, but seeks to seize power. Maybe it's the judiciary, maybe it's the bureau, whatever it is. Then you understand what we're up against. I want to pursue this briefly when we come back. We have two great guests in the next hour, including the ambassador to the United States.
You too, George. Hope you have a good one.
Imagine relying on a dozen different software programs to run your business, none of which are connected. And each one more expensive and more complicated than the last. It can be pretty stressful. Now imagine Odoo. Odoo has all the programs you'll ever need, and they're all connected on one platform.
A lot of construction going on the turnpike here, man.
Taken care of from every angle. Odoo has user-friendly applications for CRM, accounting, inventory, manufacturing, marketing, HR, and everything in between. Basically, if your business needs it, Odoo's got it. Odoo sounds pretty amazing, right? So stop depending on all those expensive, disconnected platforms and let Odoo harmonize your business with simple, efficient software that can handle everything for a fraction of the price. Sign up today at odoo.com. That's ODOO.com. Odoo. Modern management made simple. These three words make you cringe. Calcium oxalate stones. If so, then this message will be a huge relief because now there's a kidney health supplement that has shown in laboratory tests to reduce the rate of calcium oxalate crystal growth by 99%. That's right, 99%. It's called Kidney Cock, Calcium Oxalate Protector, and nothing else comes close to its success. In fact, it has a 100% satisfaction guarantee. Kidney Cock is so innovative, it's been awarded 5 U.S. patents. It's recommended by doctors and pharmacists. It's winning rave reviews from people all over the country. You can be one of them. Kidney Cock is super affordable. You can purchase affordable Kidney Cock today by visiting Amazon.com, Walmart.com, or KidneyCock.com. If you cringe when you hear the words calcium oxalate and you worry about reoccurrence, then you need Kidney Cock right away. Purchase Kidney Cock today at Amazon.com, Walmart.com, or KidneyCock.com. Patients are finally advocating for themselves and finding treatments that can improve outcomes for their chronic illnesses. These are advanced stem cell treatments at Bespoke Biologics. My name is Gordon Jones, and I found out about Bespoke because a client of mine was actually talking about the therapy and treatments. I came in because I have an autoimmune disorder. It leads to other issues like arthritis, inflammation. My main goal for seeking this type of medicine was to alleviate some of the symptoms I've had with autoimmune without having to go the traditional drug route. Bespoke's treatments reach beyond the limitations of traditional medicine to treat the root cause of diseases. The local service here is amazing. Everything's really pleasant. Coming into this hospital, I really know that we're in a different country. Very professional. I would highly recommend Bespoke based on the experience I've had. Curious about how these treatments can hold the key to improving your life? Learn more at BespokeStemCell.com. That's BespokeStemCell.com. Schedule your introductory call today. BespokeStemCell.com. Imagine a health plan you actually want to, not just have Buying transparency, buying for fair payments, and saving employers up to 33% compared to traditional health plans. We enable companies to take more control over health plan costs. Advocating for our members makes us health plan rebels. So be it. Get your health plan costs under control at cleantalk.com. National defense, legal immigration, serious things in patriot, conservative principles live here.
So friends, you work hard your whole life, and your taxes, there's your family, they got rules. Now you're looking around wondering, what the hell happened in my country? The good news is you're not alone. There's millions of us who feel this way. Millions of patriotic Americans. Millions of patriotic Americans over 50 who feel the same way and want to take a stand. And by the way, they want to take a stand with AMAC, Association of Mature American Citizens. And I say over 50, but you don't have to be 50. But taking a stand to bring fairness back, root out waste and fraud, proudly stand by our Judeo-Christian values. You don't need to do this alone. That's where the Association of Mature American Citizens comes in. AMAC is the organization that actually aligns with your values: faith, freedom, family, common sense. $16 a year. What do you get for $16 a year? You not only help support this organization that helps defend you, whether it's economically or the border or whatever it is, in Washington, D.C. It's a nationwide movement you'll be joining. You'll get the year subscription to AMAC Magazine, one of the finest magazines you'll ever see. And then the biggie is that you'll get tremendous money-saving discounts and benefits on things you actually need and use. In fact, you use that once, it'll far more than pay off that $16 a year membership. How do they do that? It's simple. It's called Volt. They've 2.5 million members, including me. Just go to amac.us/Levin, 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 and participate in this. You've worked hard, you pay your taxes, things are tight, get a hold of these benefits and discounts from a group that is patriotic and pro-American. Again, it's amac.us/Levin, amac.us/LEVIN.
Whoa!
Power. You're going to hear me talk about power.
See that? Shooting star?
Talk about power because we're the point of the spear here. We blaze the trail.
Holy crap.
We put smart ideas into the public square where some of our friends pick them up, which is good. That's the point. To spread the
128.
word. Smart ideas on power is an incredibly smart, substantive, important book. That's easy to read, nice and tight. I'll be right back.
There's music.
Let me pull that up on my phone and see if I can clip it. can't find it. Whoa! See that? Shooting star? Holy crap. Whoa! Whoa! See that? Shooting star? Whoa! See that? Shooting star?
Crowd Control America. Again, it's amac.us/event, Whoa! You can hear me talking about power. See that? Shooting star. Fits and discounts from a group that is Crowd Control America. Again, it's amac.us/event, Whoa! You can hear me talking about power. See that? Shooting star. Fits and discounts from a group that is Crowd Control America. Again, it's amac.us/event, Whoa! You can hear me talking about power. See that? Shooting star. Fits and discounts from a group that is Crowd Control America. Again, it's amac.us/event, Whoa! You can hear me talking about power. See that? Shooting that is Crowd Control America. Again, it's amac.us/event, Whoa! You can hear me talking about power. See that? Shooting star. Holy crap. You put smart ideas in the some of our friends pick them up. We just could. That's the point. Just create smart ideas on power is an incredibly smart, substantive book. Easy to read, nice and tight. Single evil element that is occurring around the world, and to say, oh, regardless of the motive, as though there is anything that would justify what occurred. So to answer your question in short, Mark, I'm horrified by where we're at. I'm determined to continue to fight to change the trajectory and make sure my 6-year-old daughter has a world that is representative of what we value, which is peace, hope, freedom, life. You know, it's interesting, Aaron, about Qatar in this instance. If you go to memori.org, memri.org, you will see that their bought and paid for so-called journalists have been condemning the United States, condemning Israel, blaming Israel for what's taking place there. So they put out an official statement. They fund what's taking place, funding, and their wholly owned journalists are saying. At around 128 of the stream, I swear I saw Shooting Star. I don't know if you can see it very good on the phone. I just clipped it. I'm going to try and look at it when I get home. Something burning up, re-entering. Again, I say it is almost look green. How they are the fire, the setter, the arsonist, and the firefighter were pretending to be. They are fraudulent. I understand, the pressure on the administration to meet with people, to have relationships, to have dialogue, absolutely. We have to look at it on a bigger screen. Will they ever see if I can clip it up? What we care about. The ideology is so far gone that I look at the media with this narrative now and looking at, but I'm getting close. I'm 20 minutes away from home now. Seeking revenge and proportionality. I'm sorry, there is not one element of revenge to what is being done right now. If on October 8th, Hamas had laid down its arms and returned the hostages, you could absolutely argue that continued military action was wrong right now. They have not. There is still a threat that exists daily. They have said publicly, you don't need to be Einstein. They went on television after the first ceasefire and they said, we will carry out October 7th again and again and again at the first opportunity we get. Plus, they still have hostages. So what is Israel supposed to do? They did not start this war. They do not
world's largest Islamic population. They kill Muslims more than they anybody else. This is China, massive threat. But Islamism, it is, if people don't understand and don't wake up soon, it's already too late in many ways. But we've got to start fighting back, and we've got to get serious about it, because we cannot continue to appease people who want to destroy us. It is insane.
Now, I like this lady. Where did you come up with your thought processes? Reading, observing, using your noggin, experience? What was it?
I had the most incredible dad, and I know most people would feel the same way about their own father, but if you give me a minute or two, I'd love to tell you about him, and there's a fair way to explain why I'm the way I am. He was a major general in the army. He went to Iraq and ran the war there for the US forces for a year. So he got there, and General Petraeus identified him and said, we need this Australian to run our war. So he ran the Battle of Fallujah, the first democratic election in that country in decades. He then went on to join Parliament in Australia, and he holds the record for most individual votes of any politician in Australian history. So he was a phenomenal human being and an incredible ally of Israel. He had a moral compass unlike anything else. He was sent to Israel in 2014 to investigate the conflict the year prior with an American general and a British general, and of course, because we send, people to check up on our democratic ally. It's ridiculous. But either way, his quote at the end of that, having run the war in Iraq on behalf of the Americans for a year, he said they put us to shame with how they conduct warfare. He was the bravest, most courageous, most incredible person. He said to me from a very young age, you do what is right even when it is hard. And it is hard, Mark, at times. I'm a single mom with a 6-year-old. I know that standing in this space and standing publicly for Israel, against terrorism, for humanity, endangers my daughter, it endangers my life. But it's still hard. It's hard now, but what will the world be like in 2 years, 4 years, 8 years, if people like you don't speak, if people like me don't speak? So, I'm driven to do what is right, and I will never stop. And yes, my life will probably be easier if I pipe down a little bit, but that's not in my nature and never will be.
Fantastic. Now, people can find you on YouTube, right? They go to Erin Molan, M-O-L-I-N.
They can.
Yeah.
A-N, M-O-L-A-N. I never thought I'd ever correct you, let alone on it. Don't think
no, you need to correct me.
I'm so grateful for people so much. I'm starting from the beginning back on YouTube, so I really appreciate it. Would love any support. And again, I'm just if I could just take 30 seconds to compliment you, and I promise I'm not fucking up. I say to people, young people, when they're coming through and they want to be broadcasters, I say to them, you don't need to be attractive, you don't need to be polished. Oh, this sounds awful, doesn't it? The part I say you just need to be easy to listen to and speak with conviction. And I say to them, believe me, this has nothing to do with the attractive part, but I say Mark Levin is unconventional, but there is no one more compelling on television. I cannot look away. Anyway, I'm such a big fan, and I'll stop now because I'm probably embarrassing myself, but I'm so grateful, and thank you so much for having me.
Are we done already? Hey, you have to go to Chris Cuomo's show. Now, I wouldn't mention it to the
There's nothing on the door.
Yeah, you go ahead.
Are you not hi?
You can mention it if you want. I wouldn't. But anyway, you enjoyed it. We're going to have you back. You're just too good to have once. So,
I would love to.
God bless you, my friend.
And
Great.
My fee is really affordable, Mark. Really cheap.
Yeah, so far, zero. All right, take care. All right, bye-bye.
Thank you.
She's something else. Substantively, it's just unbelievable. Don't you think, Mr. Producer? So my wife calls me handsome all the time. Is she not telling me the truth? I'll be right back.
Mark Levin.
So Nick here, I've got some facts for you. In 2018, the average driving distance for men was 226.4 yards. In 2023, 225 yards. A yard and a half of distance lost. With all this new golf technology, how is distance shrinking? More players are taking lessons than ever. More are getting fitted for clubs. ULT series is a different kind of coach. In a class all of its own, it's the perfect balance of lightweight comfort and proven performance. And at under 425 grams, it's lighter than the competition and does one thing no other shoe can. It helps you use the ground better. More stability, more comfort, more distance. Use the ground better with the new LT series from Squares.
You heard it here first. Resolutions are so last season. What's in? I'll tell you what. Transforming whole body health with just one whole food. Arma colostrum is a 300 million-year-old superfood, packing 400 plus nutrients and more benefits than I can mention in this 60-second ad. Stronger immunity, ease bloating and constipation, revitalized skin and hair, stronger recovery and performance, and elevated mood and focus are just a few results clients see and feel. With Arma, transform your health at the cellular level and unlock the you of your wildest imagination. Visit Arma.com and enter code XMRadio for 30% off your first subscription order for this month only. That's ARMRA.com, code XMRadio for 30% off your first subscription order. These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, or prevent any disease. What if you could unlock over $1 million in personal and business credit? That's exactly what Ray Reynolds can do for you. I'm talking about protecting your family and building your business with $100,000 in personal and business cash credit. And Ray can help you rebuild your credit score to 750. Ray Reynolds isn't just any expert. He helped the security chief of TRW and became Experian, one of the most trusted credit bureaus. If you're looking to get your finances on track, Ray is the you should call for a 750 credit score. Call Ray at 800-763-3716. 800-763-3716. Join his live webinars and attend his weekly workshops to learn the insider strategies for hitting your personal and business goals. Ready for a 750 credit score and your first $100,000 in credit? Call Ray Reynolds now at 800-763-3716. That's 800-763-3716. What does the future hold for business? Ask 9 experts and you'll get 10 answers. It's a bull market. It's a bear market. Rates will rise or fall. Inflation's up or down. Can someone invent a crystal ball? Until then, over 41,000 businesses have future-proofed their business with NetSuite by Oracle, the #1 cloud ERP, bringing accounting, financial management, inventory, and HR into one fluid platform. With one unified business management suite, there's one source of truth, giving you the visibility and control you need to make quick decisions. With real-time insights and forecasting, you're peering into the future with actionable data. When you're closing the books in days, not weeks, you're spending less time looking backwards and more time on what's next. Whether your company is earning millions or even hundreds of millions, NetSuite helps you respond to immediate challenges and seize your biggest opportunities. Download the CFO's Guide to AI and Machine Learning for free at netsuite.com/markets. That's netsuite.com/markets. netsuite.com/markets. Tuning into Religious Freedom. We are serious implementation of conservative principles live here.
SMBC closed down tonight. Our nation would be better off, our free press would be better off, our body politic would be better off, and I'll give you a perfect example. Sarah Sidner is a host at CNN. I don't know who she is. She doesn't know who she is. Jonathan Epstein was a witness to what took place last night. Now, I want you to listen to this, because this is the problem we're having in our country right now. Our media are absolutely corrupt. I don't mean they're taking money, although some are. I mean they're intellectually corrupt. That's 7, go.
As you go forward with what you've seen, can you give us any sense of look the shooter in the eyes? Can you give us any sense of what you saw in him as he was sort of getting help, and people were tending to him as if he too was a victim of seeing this?
Yeah, to be clear, I heard out that part because we were in a secure room when he initially walked in. I just saw him screaming and then being handcuffed. But what I saw in his eyes, I mean, I went to Columbia for grad school and I saw the same thing in his eyes as I saw in the eyes of all the protesters at Columbia. Nothing different between him and them. But they did not create this horrific shooting. They did not, sort of. They didn't shoot. They gave permission. They gave the permission. And they've called for this. They have called for Intifada revolution, which is the same thing he yelled last night. Do you worry that there will be a conflation, though, of the two, those people who are speaking their mind, who really care about what is happening in Gaza, and those people who are like this person who did this horrific shooting, who intend to do harm? A conflation. I mean, they're calling for Intifada. At Columbia University, they call for Intifada constantly. They're not quietly, they're loud. They're loud. You can hear it. They make recordings of themselves. So what's the difference?
I mean, folks, does she even know what Intifada means? Does she even know what the mindset of the Islamists is? It's just disgusting. You know what? I have decisions to make when this book comes out. Who do we send them to in the media? Do you think I should literally send it to some of these hosts on these other networks? Do you think they'll even read it, Mr. Producer? I have a whole section on this sort of thing. And the Islamists, ladies and gentlemen, just like the Marxists, they rely on the ignoramuses like the Sarah Sidners. Like the Sarah Sidners. I don't know, Sarah, when people are talking about from the river to the sea, Palestine will be free, which means the absolute elimination, the Holocaust of the Jews who live there. That sounds like a similar mindset to me, doesn't it to you, Rich? I mean, what the hell is she talking about? It's really incredible to me, in a disgusting way. Incredible to me. And this is what she comes down to. This is what she says. I mean, this is funded by the left. Here's Benjamin Netanyahu today. Cat 6, go.
Last night in Washington, something horrific happened. Brutal terrorists shot in cold blood a young, beautiful couple, Yaron Nishinsky and Sarah Milgram. Yaron had just bought an engagement ring for Sarah. He was planning to give it to her in Jerusalem next week. They were planning to start a new and happy life together. Well, that tragically did not happen. Yaron and Sarah aren't the victims of a random crime. The terrorists who cruelly gunned them down did so for one reason and one reason alone. He wanted to kill Jews. And as he was taken away, he chanted, "Free Palestine." This is exactly the same chant we heard on October 7th. On that day, thousands of terrorists stormed into Israel from Gaza. They beheaded men, they raped women, they burned babies alive. They butchered 1,200 innocent people and took 251 innocent people hostage to the dungeons of Gaza. A short time afterwards, Chancellor Scholz of Germany visited Israel. And after he saw the horrors, he said to me, "These Hamas terrorists are exactly like the Nazis." He was right. And if they could get away with it, these Hamas terrorists would have slaughtered every last Jew on earth. For these neo-Nazis, Free Palestine is just today's version of Heil Hitler. They don't want a Palestinian state. They want to destroy the Jewish state. They want to annihilate the Jewish people who've been in the land of Israel for 3,500 years.
Nobody more articulate than that man. Let's take a moment to talk about where we are. Because let's be honest, conservatives are winning. Conservatives are winning, but true conservatives aren't cocky about it. I talked about this. We know what the Democrat Party is capable of. And we talk about how they're so completely different than we. And they really are. I'm going to get into this in more detail tomorrow. There's not enough time this evening from On Power. But on Blaze TV, we spread the message far and wide. The message of Americanism. That's right, Americanism. That's the ism we care about. We have many different hosts with different personalities, different styles, but we all love the country. We have that in common. We all know who the enemy is. We have that in common too. We all want to provide for you the very best television programming imaginable. There are massive corporations, many competitors out there, but we don't care about any of that at Blaze TV. We're focused on you. That is, the American people. Now, what we're going to do is provide you with an opportunity, those of you who haven't joined yet, with a really deep discount to come and listen and watch, to get a 1-year subscription. We are on 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Maybe you're lonely. No, I don't necessarily mean emotionally lonely, but you're lonely because you don't think people agree with you. You're going to find that there's a lot of people who do. Those of us at the Blaze. It starts an annual subscription at just $8 a month. $8 a month. I really want you to jump in. Be a great Father's Day gift too. Go to LevinTV.com. There's a lot of Levins in this. LEVINTV.com/LEVIN. So it's LevinTV.com/Levin and use code Levin. Very easy. And you'll save $20 on your annual subscription. That's LevinTV.com/Levin, promo code Levin. LEVINTV.com/LEVIN, promo code LEVIN. Blaze TV. We're unfiltered. We're unafraid. On demand. And we preach Americanism. Join us this evening. Jump in right now. I'll be right back.
This is a special notice to U.S. taxpayers owing $10,000 or more to the IRS. Tax Relief Advocates is urgently notifying taxpayers that tax relief initiatives are now available that may significantly reduce or eliminate. If you are afraid of an IRS lien, levy, or wage garnishment, don't lose hope. You can now take advantage of these current relief programs to end all collections, reduce the amount you owe, and resolve your tax problem. Even if you have years of unfiled tax returns or already in a payment plan, you may still qualify for significant relief. Struggling taxpayers can now get the relief they need during these hard economic times. A hotline has been established by Tax Relief Advocates for you to call and see what you qualify for. They're A+ rated with the BBB and have over 1,000 5-star reviews. Don't wait. Call 800-575-7049. 800-575-7049. That's 800-575-7049. Or simply visit TRA.com.
Health surprises can change your life in an instant. You've seen it happen to others, but it doesn't have to be your story. At Princeton Longevity Center, we customize actionable and proactive health plans to maximize your lifespan and take control of your health. Our Cancer Check program combines cutting-edge technology with top expertise to keep you ahead of potential.